degree that then can be able to run and manage this club just like you are running any other county entity that is established under PFM Act, Section 184. Mr. Speaker, if you do that, how can you guarantee quality and valuable time for the athletes that you want to invest in to compete at a global stage? It will be very difficult. So, Mr. Speaker, the overall comment that I'm making here for the owners of this bill, and I'm glad that Senator Chimera has just walked in, is that this bill must be reviewed starting from the ownership structure that allows the clubs to put a scheme that allows young people to be able to engage in sports. Why this is very important for us, Mr. Speaker, and we have seen it thriving in other places, is because by clubs owning the structure of academies, number one, they will be very clear in terms of their mission and vision. You see, the bill says that there will be a requirement for every single county government to establish at least one sports academy. But how do you vision that? How do you mission that? For instance, if you come from Migori County, where I come from, we have got very many young women who are very good at netball. Equally, we have got very, very good young men who are very good at what I would call volleyball. And yet, we still have very, very, very good young people who are good at soccer. So how do you vision a county being able to put up a soccer structure at the expense of a netball structure? But if you allow netball to be a club by itself, very well run, but supported by county in terms of resources that are given by the county in some subsidized form, then you will have a netball structure that has got a clear vision, a netball club that has got a clear vision, same to a soccer club that has got a clear vision. And you can still have an athletic club that has got a very clear vision and mission that then builds a very competitive team, Mr. Speaker. Because if you look at the team that has been proposed here in terms of management, and I hope that Senator Chimera will look for me so that we sit down and look at what is the minimum viable option of running this sports academy. Mr. Speaker, if you end up just renting an employee to run this or manage these committees, the problem is sport runs on what we call passion. So that a variety of management are actually coaches. They are coaches not just for the technical bit of the sport, but also the mental understanding of these athletes when they are working on developing their talent. So the technical aspect that is required in sporting might not necessarily be the degree that is prescribed here, might not be necessarily the qualification that is prescribed here, but it is the connection, the technical connection, the passion, the valuable time that somebody has spent in sport that allows them be able to connect at the same level with these athletes. And that enables the proper crafting of a compelling curriculum, Mr. Speaker, for what then constitutes that sports academy. Because a sporting academy will not have a typical curriculum like a normal education system. It will require curriculum based on the technical understanding of this management that you have. And then, Mr. Speaker, what my friends who covered this, we have also talked about, that I think is lacking here, that needs some amendment, is investing in safety. Because a sports person, when they get even a single injury, if they don't get proper treatment, and you've seen me here, Senator Chimera, of course through the speaker, you've seen that when I got into clutches, that by just getting an ACL problem, I was on clutches for almost 12 months, and I'm not even competitive as a professional. I'm not a professional player. So think about safety when these injuries come about. The investment is humongous. That is why ownership structure must go back to clubs, where you can put facilities in terms of resources, you can ensure that there's quality facilities, and even technological know-how. Today, if you go and look at how Arsenal plays, or Manchester plays, or any other team plays, they even have things that monitor their heart rates, their performance on the field, the way they can dash, their endurance in the field. These all are technologies that can make you be possibly even start making waves in the sporting area. And Mr. Speaker, with that, then you are investing on overall health and wellness of an athlete that can make you be competitive in terms of fostering a more collaborative and community that athletes feel respected about and have values. In fact, when athletes don't feel respected in a space where sometimes this county structure might put them in or feel valued, their morale is always down and they can't compete at a global stage. So think about it from that ownership structure, the authors. We can work on some amendment that allows us to think about that ownership structure. But I certainly feel very, very, very strongly that the ownership of academies must be structured within our clubs, and the county structure that can support that should support in terms of capacity building of those clubs, so that even the marketing element, Mr. Speaker, can be able to be buoyed, because you're not only thinking about having our athletes being in these academies, but also inviting people from outside who might have the same talent, as we are seeing that you'll see Mariga leaving Kenya and going to play for Inter Milan in Italy, and meeting other people from Cameroon, from Zambia, from different places in the continent, Mr. Speaker. And with that kind of diversity pool that is natural in a corporate setting, then you build a proper competing academy. Then you can be able to market these academies and compete at a global stage. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, I think it is a brilliant idea, it's a brilliant intention, it's a brilliant motivation, but must be informed by the science of sport, by those countries that have made strides within the domain of sports in general, and for me, soccer in particular. I think, yes, I support, but with overly well-drafted amendments that can be able to augment the ownership structure. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Eddie. Now, Honorable Senators, Senator Gloria, you're putting in a request. I do not want to take it to mean that you want to speak to this bill. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support this bill, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I know that many people imagine that we don't know much about sports, but Mr. Speaker, we are mothers of sons who are actually sportsmen, who play football, who are interested in understanding how they can even join the national, teams that are there, Mr. Speaker. So when I read about this bill and I looked at what is happening currently, Mr. Speaker, I realized that now more than ever, even as women, we have to come on board and support some of the things that have been listed in this bill. Mr. Speaker, there's always an assumption that Kenya, we don't know how to organize our sports, Mr. Speaker. The other day, when we had our team playing against at Nyayo Stadium, Mr. Speaker, I decided that I'm going to go and sit in the stadium, but not at the VIP section, Mr. Speaker, because I wanted to get the authentic experience of what it means to be in Nyayo Stadium where there's a match, so that you can feel, the patriotic Kenyans that have come out to support our team, Mr. Speaker. And you could hear them saying, oh, I know so and so from the team. I know this player. We were in school with this player and that player. Oh, and Mr. Speaker, one thing I appreciated in terms of our sports in this country, if there is a unifying factor in this country, Mr. Speaker, it is sports. So a piece of legislation like this that is actually going to ensure that from the grassroots level, we are going to have organized teams. We are going to encourage the youth from the grassroots level to, join the teams and compete and bring that unity, Mr. Speaker. I want to say that I support this bill. And I want to also congratulate Senator Chimera, because I know, Senator Chimera, you had this bill was drafted by you, and I know that there was some input by Senator Sifuna. And I want to say that don't think that, don't leave us out when you're drafting these things. Ask us, even us, we have some things we would like to add here and there. So congratulations, and I hope that this bill is passed so that our sons, I have a 17-year-old who wants to join the national team as a footballer. can be able to be the beneficiaries of this piece of legislation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senators, there being no other member who is interested in contributing to the bill, I ask Senator Chimera to reply.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wish to reply. Let me first begin by appreciating Senator Professor Tom Ojienda for his very invaluable contribution as to the drafting of this bill, Mr. Speaker. And I just spoke to him while I got back here, just to inform him that I don't think he's had a chance to contribute to this bill. But having been my law lecturer, he has assured me that he has full confidence in my ability to prosecute this bill. And as such, I really want to really appreciate and thank Senator Professor Tom Ojienda. Thank you to the senators who have spoken to this bill, Senator Mungatana, Senator Wasotsi, Senator Tabitha Mutinda, Senator Karen Nyamu, Senator Hamida, Senator Eddie Okech, Senator William Kisang, and my very good friend, Senator Gloria Oroba. I actually didn't imagine Senator Oroba would be interested in matters of sports until she confirmed to us that, and I know the son, of course, having met him, I think it was in Addis Ababa, the young man looks very sporty. And I'm happy to say that he has a mother that has an interest in matters of sports. And I want to tell you, Senator Oroba, it's just not only a question of unifying the young men of this country, because I know you are very passionate about women and the women agenda is close to your heart. This particular bill, by dint of its operation, when it becomes law, will equally unify very, very many women who is your greatest constituency. And I would wish to urge you to join us in making sure that this bill sees the light of the day. Mr. Speaker, let me also congratulate and speak much about the bill as proposed by Senator Edwin Sifuna, because the said bill by Sifuna, Mr. Speaker, speaks to Section 38M of this bill as to the funding of the county academies, Mr. Speaker. And I had a chance to contribute to the bill as framed by Senator Sifuna on the need to making sure that our county sports associations have necessary funding so that individual clubs in those associations can be able to benefit from funding from government, so that they are able to meet their regular weekly budgetary requirements, so that they can travel from as far as, for instance, their clubs in Kwale County. We have a club called SS Assad that is participating in a nationwide league, Mr. Speaker. And from time to time, this club, either they call me or they call my colleague leaders seeking for assistance every week, Mr. Speaker, so that they can travel to as far as Migori, as far as Kisii, to participate in the Super League nationally. Yet they are cash strapped, they have no funding. And even as we seek to entrench the culture of academies in our country, Mr. Speaker, we must guarantee funding to these clubs. And I want to thank Senator Eddie Okech. And for information, my brother, I was on Thika Road that I was following the discourse from this house, because I knew perhaps I'd be forced to reply. So I took it upon myself to listen in to the conversations. And I want to thank you for your very enriching contributions, Senator Eddie Okech. I'll be very frank, we had not thought along the lines of the modern football academies as they happen in London, in Spain, in Germany, and these, modern countries. We actually thought of just drafting a law that would secure the place of an academy in our local areas, so that we have a chance and a platform within which the young sport-talented men and women of this country can have a place to go and showcase their talent, a place that is readily available, a place that has facilities, has the necessary technical expertise in form of coaches, and much more important, Mr. Speaker, a place that has a chance for scouts to come and scout for football talent, for sports talent. The idea, Senator Eddy, is just guaranteeing a place whereby instead of waiting for what is known as the Senator Alan Chesang Super Cup, for instance, or Senator Mungatana Super Cup, for instance, where, in my view, is just a way of politicizing sports instead of speaking to the real talent and opportunities in sports and in the sporting world. But I thank you, Senator Eddy, that you have construed this bill to be speaking about running a football academy that is a club. We had not seen through that particular line of thought. And I want to assure you, we must start from somewhere. And that somewhere is by the very nature of this bill. And I thank you because I have seen a very good line of amendments to pursue. But in the interest of time, Senator Eddy, and allow me, we proceed as it is. And then I know, because laws are not made in finality, you will have a chance and opportunity to probably push forth through this amendment. But what we want to seek to achieve in the meantime, and perhaps for information, you've seen government through the sports ministry, led by my able governor emeritus, the Honorable Salim Galamvuria. They have gone ahead and they are already launching sports academies countrywide. And in fact, when I had a conversation with the sports mandarins in that ministry, they informed me that the idea is to roll these academies in every constituency, Mr. Speaker. And here we are speaking about county sports academies, but the ministry and the government has seen the need to further devolve the same into constituencies. So then again, that would speak heavily on funding, that would speak heavily on matters management of the same. It will speak heavily on matters running the county sports academies. Otherwise, I really wish to take this opportunity to thank everyone who's contributed to this bill. We do not take your contributions for granted. I know they speak towards enriching this particular bill, and it is my sincere hope and believe and trust that as a House, we will be able to consider those very wonderful and amazing amendments so that we make this particular law very proactive and very aggressive in nature, and much more important, Mr. Speaker, very easy and efficient and lean in matters implementing the same. We just don't want to legislate on laws that become problematic in matters implementing, especially when we are strained as county governments, because I understand a governor would be torn between pushing in funds for roads maintenance, pushing in funds for running their bursary programs, Mr. Speaker. And I'm happy in the morning we had a very robust discussion and a motion on the whole issue on harmonizing bursaries, Mr. Speaker. And maybe perhaps I would want to take this chance to remind those of us who are in leadership and running such programs that, number one, the Senate is not opposed to you running scholarship opportunities and bursary programs. And number two, Senator Chimera in person is not opposed to these bursaries because it is what is available in the meantime. So I know you would be torn between pushing in funding to pay school fees, funding to buy. Mr. Speaker, I don't know, Senator Eddy seems to have a burning issue, but maybe I can finish.
Senator Eddy, allow Senator Chimera to conclude on his reply. You will have your time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just wanted to let the COG know that it is a balance. That when you receive funding from the exchequer, it is a huge balance between how you put in those funds and how the citizens want the funds to be applied. It is wrong for certain leaders, Mr. Speaker, to try and purport that the Senate is against certain programs or individual senators are against certain programs. And you know, it is foolish, Mr. Speaker, for a leader to ever imagine that we would be against what they are doing in their respective counties, Mr. Speaker. We firmly understand we send money to the counties, and because the whole hallmark of government expenditure, especially matters county financing and expenditure, are premised on this public participation principle. If the people so decide that they want to set aside a certain allocation to run a certain program, be it road maintenance, be it healthcare, be it bursaries, we have no business as senators. I have no business as Raphael Chimera Mwinzagu, senator from Kwale County, to say I am opposed to that particular idea. I want to make it clear and let it go on record that I support what governors are doing. I support governors running bursary programs. I support governor running programs in agriculture, the FLOCA programs that you run, climate change and resilient projects that you run. We support them because the people of Kwale, the people of these many other counties have actually put their voice towards making sure these funds are expended in that particular manner. So for somebody to try and say we are against because there is a conversation, Mr. Speaker, on making sure that perhaps there is free education to everyone, I don't think it is right. And I also want to say, when this bill becomes law, do not feel strained that Senator Chimera and Senator Ojienda brought forth a law that then again strains your resources to be able to manage these academies. I am happy that Senator Sifuna has given that cure, that now there'll be a percentage, 1% from the shareable revenue that goes towards making sure that these monies are available for our county sporting activities. I know they would say, why are you burdening us with more duties, more roles, especially more financial burden? Because these academies must have a committee as proposed in section 38C on the management of the same counties academies, Mr. Speaker, and that these committees will be drawing allowances. These academies would want maintenance, and of course, it is a strain in terms of their budget. But then again, we are saying, let the young men and women of this country also be able to have an opportunity to showcase their sporting talent. I know we can always raise finances. We would be willing. And I know people like Senator Karen Nyamu here and Senator Gloria Uroba have very good networks towards making sure we attract donor funding, we attract donations and gifts, and support in terms of financial support to these clubs in Nairobi County and Kisii County and other counties, Mr. Speaker. So I don't think why the conversation would largely be touching on how best we finance our academies. Otherwise, I want to also take this opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to thank the government for really, jumping over the gun and going a step ahead by implementing what we are proposing to be law. And I'm happy that for the first time in this great nation, there will be a legal framework that allows and governs how sporting activities are regulated, are run. I know Senator Eddy equally has an amendment again on matter sports as well. And I'm really looking forward towards contributing to your bill as well. And I thank you, my brother, for those very kind words. I mean, I didn't expect the same from you, knowing you very well, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I finish and pursuant to Standing Order 66, 3, I request that the putting of the question be deferred to a later date. With those many remarks, I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Chimera, putting of the question on this particular bill is deferred to the next sitting of the House. Before we call out the next order, while you are replying, Senator Chimera, you made a comment to the effect that you came in with the mindset that you'll be forced to reply to this particular bill. I'm sure it was not intentional to that extent because it's part of process. So nobody would have in any way forced you, the chair, nor any other person, but you have replied because it's part of the process of processing the legislation. Now, clerk, let's call the next order. Honorable members, we shall defer order number 15, order number 16, and order number 17 to the next sitting when we have quorum to transact the bills on the committee of the whole. Call order number 16, clerk.
Order number 18, the Creative Economy Support Bill, Senate Bills number 30 of 2024, second reading.
I call upon Senator Eddy to move this particular bill.
Mr. Speaker, it's an honor to be back on this dispatch again. And through your honor, Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the Creative Economy Bill, the Creative Economy Support Bill, Senate Bills number 30 of 2024, be now read a second time. Mr. Speaker, it's a very big honor to move this bill because the creative economy is an economy that has been very elusive to our country. It's one of the economies that is greatly misunderstood and yet has got the biggest opportunities for our youth as far as I am concerned, Mr. Speaker. Indeed, the needs of the persons in the creative economy have traditionally been taken aback in terms of priorities of the state. If you think about it, just in terms of even the structure of the state support that has been there. Just to begin with, Mr. Speaker, the creative economy is housed in the Ministry of Sports and Culture, when we know that the creative economy actually is a serious case for business. If you think about all the clusters that constitute the creative economy, be it music, be it the creative arts, be it publishing books, be it the performed arts, Mr. Speaker, the list goes on and on. But we have seen that there is an increasing, just misguided priority by the state, just by the start of how the state understands the creative. Therefore, this is a bill, Mr. Speaker, that seeks to have us think about the creative economy as a place to leverage not just the human creativity that makes it a question for culture or a question for entertainment or a question for decorative elements or facets in different economies that we have in the country, but a place for innovation and a place for ideation that can actually be able to contribute to economic development. What I'm talking about here, Mr. Speaker, is there a possibility of the creative economy bringing us a proper, viable case for investment? Is there commercial viability in the broader aspect and the narrower aspect of the creative economy? This is what this bill seeks to create understanding of for us people in government and allowing the creative economy to grow into an industrial sector that it should be and that is amorphously currently. And this bill, Mr. Speaker, is essentially rethinking the idea of policy, because what is lacking in the creative economy, Mr. Speaker, is what I would call industrial policy, whereby creative themselves don't influence or don't inform the action and inaction of our governments in this country, be it the county government or the national government. Therefore, the citizens working in the creative economy, despite the fact that they contribute to the gross domestic product by creating employment opportunities, both short-term and long-term, in fact, even sometimes mid-term, because we have seen a number of places where the young people are running gigs here and there, or they are encapsulated in music, they are in the arts, and all these other places. Despite all that contribution, Mr. Speaker, they are still exposed to the vagaries of inadequate public policy. Mr. Speaker, they pay taxes as a result of the activities in the creative economy that they're involved in. Mr. Speaker, they contribute to our GDP in a variety of ways, but there's no investment in proper support that ensures that creative economy can grow. And Mr. Speaker, some of these things happen by the fact that the government is sometimes misinformed on what creative economy actually entails. This bill will seek to define that, what we think is creative economy. And that definition, therefore, will inform the proper housing of this creative economy. And Mr. Speaker, as you know, currently, as I said, the creative economy is housed under the Ministry of Sports, and culture, because people in the creative are not seen as the traditional areas of professionalism. They're not seen as the doctors, or you would see the organizations around what I would call lawyers, or the traditional industries where finance people are, medics are, engineers are, they are seen as sometimes by culture, people who might have failed in life, so that the creative economy has been left as an economy of the last resort. If you have failed in these other cultures, other cultural opportunities, or other traditional industries, if you fail to be a doctor or you fail to be a lawyer, like my good friend Senator Chimera, who is a very good lawyer, I got to realize when I went to Diani, runs a very good law firm. If you fail, if you fail, if you fail to be a lawyer or you fail to be an engineer, then automatically you are seen as to just go into the creative industry. I'm imagining a conversation between young people like what Senator Ruba was talking about, our son who is 17-year-old, and then you tell your mom or your dad that, hey, mom, I want to go to become a musician. That can be a very traumatizing conversation between your mom and the son. Or, hey, mom, or hey, dad, I want to go and become a comedian, and I want to leave school to become a comedian. It will be a very big problem, a very big conversation. There's one comedian that I've followed for a while from South Africa called Trevor Noah. He actually had this kind of conversation with his parents, and they were very concerned I was going to be a clown, right? But if you look at the opportunity that in that creative industry is humongous for young people, we must structure it right. And what this bill wants for the first time is to take it from the Ministry of Sports and put it in the Ministry of Trade and bring about the investment culture in it.
Senator Eddy, you will have to stop from there. When the House resumes, you will have 53 minutes to continue moving your bill. Now, honorable senators, it's now 6:30 p.m. Time to adjourn the Senate. The Senate therefore stands adjourned until tomorrow, Thursday, 8th of May, 2025 at 2:30 p.m.